Welcome back to Goldenridge. Today we're cutting a brutal mountain pass road through steep terrain and dropping a vineyard into one of the least practical spots on the entire map. So, let's get to work. Alright, so here we are back in our little mountain beach valley town. I think it's been, I filled a little stuff in here and there, but nothing too crazy. Obviously, people weren't moving in, as people pointed out, because we were missing demand for low residential people. And so I think because we built this little neighborhood over here, Beechwood Glen, which is a name I don't love, I think that took up all of our demand. So hopefully we can get some people moving in here. That we are getting some traffic, as you can see, but we've only got about a third or so of the residents moved in so far. But I think as that demand rises a little bit, we will get people moving in. So I did kind of get some stuff going in over here at the edge of town. I wanted to fill out this valley a little bit with it not just being super dense all the way in. So I kind of got a little school off the road here, kind of isolated outside of town, which I've certainly seen in some places. So I think that's working well. I got a little half soccer field. There wasn't quite enough room for the full one. They didn't have like a smaller school-sized one. And then I also got some of these kind of standalone lots over here that you'll see in some rural places. That the houses really will just kind of stick up out of nowhere. So I think these are looking really good, and I'll finish kind of working these in a little bit. But yeah, pretty happy with the way we're kind of slowly working our way out of the town here into these little neighborhoods and along the road here. And then I found this. This is this mansion here is really a real farmhouse looking kind of thing that I thought would be a nice thing to stick out here. I was also thinking about getting some farms kind of along the route here. So we'll do that. But today I want to look at this valley, which is, I mean, just an incredible looking valley. One of the more picturesque and scenic places in the game. Frankly, I hadn't actually really looked at it, especially from this perspective, until I was kind of poking around here the other day. So yeah, this area I think is just is pretty incredible. But I want to run the road kind of up into that valley, because when you have nice pristine landscape like that, what do? You develop it. So let's go ahead and get this road in here. We'll get our contour lines on and try to figure out exactly how we can work our way up here and kind of cross that little saddle there into the other canyon. And yeah, and I have some ideas for what I want to develop in there that we'll get to a little later in this episode. But first I want to just start off with kind of getting the road going. So we'll go grounded. I don't think we want any key walls on a lot of this, and we'll just kind of back this up a little bit here. And yeah, let's kind of start working our way around and moving our way up here. Let's see, yeah, kind of curling around. I think it'll be fun to make this road real curvy. Let's see if we can find a good gradient on this. And yeah, I think that can work. And just trying to find kind of a mixture of, where it's kind of not too steep and also kind of, keeping it nice and windy and fun. So we're just going to keep working it up here and bring it back around. And that's getting a little steep. So we're just going to keep going with it. That's looking pretty good to start. So I'm gonna back up a little here and just kind of rework this area. I think That's looking pretty good, and just kind of curl this in a little tighter than we did last time. And then this is where it starts to get a little steep, but you know, 14% is not too bad. But wrapping it around that top part there, I think is going to be tough, especially from that angle. So let's see if we can't take our slope tool here and get the rest of this road finished up. All right, I think that's looking pretty good. I kind of like where it cuts through some of the stone or the cliff or whatever, but yeah, I think the way this is working up is looking pretty good. We can maybe smooth out a little stuff here. It kind of jumps up starting at this node, so just raise a couple of these up. I don't want to get too crazy with it. A lot of times the more you tend to kind of pick at this stuff, trying to improve it, it actually just kind of makes it worse and it gets even jankier. So let's just kind of adjust some of this stuff here, and yeah, I think that's pretty good coming over into this valley. So that, now I think we can just move on to figuring out how we want to weave our road through this. So kind of along kind of the low areas, and just working our way around. Let's see. I guess we'll kind of start here and make sure we'll leave snapping on for this and just kind of start around here somewhere and bringing it kind of wide through here and on the bottom of these little hills here. And that's getting a little yeah, well, maybe we want to actually work our way into this little narrow bit here, and we can get kind of windy, working our way kind of around and up here, and then ultimately kind of working our way down and into this other area where we'll build another town, not a little different one, a little more rustic, a little more out there, not quite such a bougie beach town, but more of a rustic kind of mountain bay town. So looks like yeah, it won't be quite the same as this. So we'll just have traffic kind of going through here, and this I think is working pretty well so far. It's a little bit of a raised road, but maybe we just scoot that down just a little bit. Just a little. I don't mind it being raised a little bit, but that was a little much. I don't mind it kind of carving through that. So let's go ahead and we'll just back up. Yeah, we'll back up a little bit and kind of keep going through. Can get real wiggly in here. Boy, it gets tough. Let's try that again here. Maybe make that turn a little sooner. There we go. And then coming in through here, just trying to find kind of the low points, or riding some of the side of the cliff here. And let's kind of take this around that little butte, but kind of along this little valley here, canyon, and then wrap a big kind of horseshoe bend around this. Right about there. Ooh, that cut in a little more than I think we wanted. We can maybe go back and tweak that. And then getting up here also starts to get a little funky. So let's see how high we can get up there. This is all getting a little weird. So let's maybe go back with our, get rid of this and go back to our slope tool here. And kind of start, what's going on? Oh, nope, there we go, slope tool now. So we'll start here and work our way down. And yeah, I mean, it looks a little funky now, but we'll get that filled in. So let's just kind of bring this up. We'll turn snapping off to kind of get a little more precise around this. That'll work. And right in here, and we'll kind of go to there for now. And then, yeah, I'm going to go back through here and adjust some of this just a little bit. All right, I think that's looking quite a bit better. We got that a little bit smoother. We still have our nice big horseshoe, but it's not cutting in quite so much. So yeah, I think we can maybe a few little spots to smooth out here, but this is definitely a lot better than our first attempt here. So now let's kind of work our way up here, and this is going to be interesting. It gets real narrow and real steep. And unfortunately, it's kind of the only place we can get down there. There's just not another good place to get into that town. So that is going to be a little tough. I think there is some opportunity, at least from this road, to kind of go over into this area though, where we talked many episodes ago about building some towns there and a little mining town there maybe. So we'll be able to kind of bridge that area, I think, eventually. And maybe we end up getting kind of a road along this train track, as you know, we've talked about, and getting some stuff going on out there. But that'll be for down the road just a little bit. So for now, let's see kind of how far we can go with this. That I think is going to be, let's see. Boy, that's going to be okay. And just kind of find a space here. That's going to be okay. That's going to be okay. And this is where it's definitely going to start getting tricky. So maybe we just start kind of raising up and not worrying so much exactly about the ground, so we can have a little more control over the slope. It's going to be steep regardless. It's maybe not going to be the most realistic road we've ever made, but it'll be fun. So just kind of play with this. I think you can find somewhere between 8 and 14 is going to be okay. Certainly, again, very steep, but not completely unrealistic for some kind of crazy mountain passes. From here, though, I think we might need to get into our slope tool. So let's see if we start somewhere around there and we just kind of work this through and around, and yeah. Oh, that's still pretty steep slope wise, but I think we can make this work. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off here and just try to make this work, and we'll check back here in a minute. So we had a little technical glitch with our recording, so it didn't quite capture me actually putting this road in, but here it is. And it's a doozy. It's real windy. We've got some pretty insane switchbacks. They're not insanely steep. They are steep, but they're not out of control. But the view here is pretty sweet, especially when we get a town down there. So yeah, we're just gonna, when the trees grow on the granite slabs, kind of drives me nuts. But yeah, I think this slope area is looking kind of cool. It's not the most, maybe not the most realistic road we've ever done, but I also think it's super fun, and it's going to look great once we get some cars flowing on it, and we have this other city at the bottom of it. I think is going to be really fun. Let's just see if we can't adjust some of these a little bit. Like I said earlier, the more you tweak some of these, the more they end up looking a little even jankier than before. And yeah, God, these trees drive me nuts. I know we're trying to do one thing, but I see them over there, and it just looks so much better for the cliffs without having kind of all the trees. We'll just kind of get rid of these and get rid of some over there, and try not to let my OCD in this instance take over, but it's also very satisfying just clearing these off with this brush. So yeah, so we've got our town here, and I think let's just connect this road to our outside connection super temporarily. Maybe we can get some traffic on this road, so just kind of bring this down super temporary. Again, this is going to be a very, very kind of different town. I have a few ideas for it, but we'll have to see how that plays out, and hopefully we just get some traffic here. We don't need the key wall in there that was left over from creating some barriers on that death trap of a switchback road. But I feel like if you're going to get into a town like this, based on its location in the mountains, you're going to need to take a crazy road. So yeah, I think this road is shaping up. So what I want to do with this valley is kind of make it wine country. I want to put in a bunch of vineyards, maybe a couple of farms, but it's definitely an extreme environment probably for growing grapes, but I think it'll look really cool when all the hills here are covered with vineyards and grapevines and farmland and stuff. So I want to start by probably clearing some of these trees out. I do really like the way that most of these trees look, very kind of organic and natural. So I want to keep quite a bit of that, but let's just maybe identify a few places we can clear out here. We'll put a nice little vineyard in there. And let's see, where else do we maybe want to get one in here, maybe? Let's see. Kind of, yeah, maybe up on this hill will be a good place. Get it way up there, and yeah, we can get one in across the street here. And yeah, probably we might smooth out some of these hills and make this a little more of a smooth hill area, but I think this will be a good a good spot. And yeah, probably here. Maybe we just make like a really big, make this whole area one big vineyard. Yeah, I think, let's see, maybe here too. Just kind of fill out some of that. We can get something in there as well. So let's start over here. Want to go ahead and find a nice big kind of manor home, you know, kind of a villa looking thing to kind of be the center spot of our vineyard and winery here. And oh, look at that. We're getting traffic. We're getting a lot of traffic, I guess, from that outside connection. So we got, oh, look at this semi just tearing up this insane road. Oh, and a little slowdown. And oh God, the way it tilts coming around that turn is terrifying. I love it. This is the most ridiculous, but the most fun highway. Look at this. Wow, we're getting tons of traffic. I guess as soon as you connect a new outside connection, they just really pour in on it. And they got another semi just tearing its way up this. I'm just looking at it from up here. I mean, it does look really cool. We can fill in with some details, some trees and stuff later, but it's great to see some traffic on this, and we can kind of see it down here. Kind of coming in, and oh my God, look at this. Look at our demand. Just shot up. Interesting. So I wonder if... Interesting that demand is, you know, you add a new outside connection and suddenly all of your residential demand just skyrockets. Very interesting. And now wow. We got 700 residents and we're all about 75% full. So we're starting to get some activity here. Hey, look at that. There are people living here, and there's only going to be more. Half of them are still on that road. So, well, interesting. All right, so vineyard. Let's find ourselves a nice villa here. That one's looking okay. That one's not bad. Let's see what else we have here. Maybe go down one size. And that's looking like too much of a house. There's a little villa. Really needs to have like a yard and a lot and all that kind of stuff, I think, to really have that right feel. Now, it's maybe that one. Ooh, this one. That one's feeling pretty good. So we got that one and this other one. Yeah, I think we'll go with this white one here. So let's just get this put into place kind of in the middle of this little area here. And God, water and electricity are going to be, I didn't even think about that. That's really going to be its own thing all the way out here. So let's see, maybe we take just a little road here. Oh, I guess that's a highway though. So let's actually smooth this out first though. Get a little smoother of a flat area for it. And oh no, yeah, still highway. There we go. Yeah, I think we just use an alleyway for this. It's like a long driveway, so we'll just kind of get this in and just give it a fun little curve. And let's just make sure we hit all of those spots. Yeah, I think that works for a nice little kind of vineyard manor house, whatever you want to call it. But I do also want to make a nice little flat area for kind of facilities. You know, farming, wine production, kind of this is the area where you go have some wine tasting and a little food, but we're going to need an area for the stuff that's actually doing the wine farming, some tractors, some plows, something that looks kind of like wine making. So let's go through here and get some idea of what we want to use some sort of clean warehouse looking thing. Let's try, and that's a little big. Oh yeah, here we go. I think that looks kind of farmy. Let's see what else there might be. It's the same one. That was a little too similar. Let's actually look at the agriculture stuff and see if there's anything. Oh yeah, that looks great. That looks like something where you're actually maybe producing some stuff. So yeah, that'll work. Let's just kind of connect the roads in here, give ourselves a little enclosed road kind of courtyard. We'll get some detailing stuff in there. Yeah, that definitely is working. And then let's just go ahead and smooth some of this stuff out. Get these hills a little smoother, a little more conducive to running some grapevines along this. But already this is kind of definitely working how I was hoping it might. And what a place, man. You got huge mountain views on one side, you got ocean views on the other. This is some, maybe we end up with some houses out here too, you know, not just the vineyards, but some real bougie homes. It's tough though, you know, with this landscape to get, you know, the larger plots on the land, but we can see. So let's take a look at what surface we want to use. I wonder if we just go with the agriculture surface, maybe. Let's see. Just kind of draw a little plot out here. Oh, that's not bad. I mean, I think that probably makes the most sense. So we'll use that. And then, yeah, we'll just spread those around and we'll kind of draw some of that stuff out. Let's also take a look at what trees we want to use. That's kind of, you know, thing about vineyards is the, you know, wine vines are pretty small and we don't have anything like that. We also want to make sure it's something you can see from a far enough view. This actually looks like it, but does it have enough visual weight when you zoom out? Like those are a little hard to see. But it does have kind of the right shape. Maybe make them a little closer together. I mean, that definitely has the right shape. It's just they're a little tough to see. Is there anything else we want to use? I don't know. These feel like the right thing. Maybe we just make them bigger and then shrink them down a little. Let's see where we go. Make these a little lower in the ground. There. I think that actually is going to be the move. So all right, I'm going to go through and get all of this vine laid out stuff, and then we'll see where we're at. All right, so I think overall that's looking pretty good. Those first couple rows are obviously a little too spaced out. I think that once I got going diagonally, it looks a little better, but it's still a little light from distance. But I do think it has the right look. So yeah, I think we'll go back and just kind of adjust those, and then we can get this other area painted out. So let's just go ahead and draw a bit of this in, kind of figure out where we want these. And I like the idea of the main kind of vineyard buildings just kind of being surrounded by all these hills in this little canyon. So I think that will work. And yeah, I'll go through and get all this stuff lined up and clean up the old one, and then this will be looking pretty good. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks great. I love the way that it kind of wraps around. See if we can get, they're kind of all backlit. It's kind of tough to get shadows on the front of them. Trees look kind of weird when they're backlit in this game, but if you look at it from this angle, that looks pretty good. So maybe we get a couple of dirt roads here, just kind of some service roads. Kind of wrap these through back around here and up above there. And I can't really get them up at the top of that, so maybe we just go with like the base. Just kind of some access roads. And just kind of take this through here and around. And yeah. Now that already looks a little better. We can probably clean up. We don't need that one quite so much. And just kind of take it to about there. Oh, that really kind of messed with the landscape. And oh, this is quite a bit steeper than I realized. Let's see if we adjust this just a little. And here. And here. Yeah, it's a little steep, but that's okay. I'm not super worried about. I don't think anything's actually going to ever drive on these. It's just kind of for show. But overall, I feel like we just kind of smooth this out a little bit here and there a little bit, just kind of fill some of that in. But yeah, overall, I think this is really feeling good. We can maybe fill in some trees kind of around the edges here, just to kind of give ourselves a little tree border, kind of a little bit of enclosure. So just along the road here and down in the back here. Don't really need fences, I think, on this property, so we'll kind of use the trees in the same way. And up along here. Just really, I think it's going to give it a nice kind of enclosed feeling. I don't know if this is like a typical vineyard thing, and it's probably blocking some of the vines from getting sun, to be honest. But I think in the mountains up here, it just kind of feels like a nice way to kind of start integrating that back into all the other natural trees, and just kind of closing it off from the highway traffic a little bit. Just kind of cater it off here, and then maybe we'll just take let's just take some trees and kind of put them along the long driveway here. Kind of get that elevated, landscaped look. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. A little bit more of a slope here than I thought. Maybe we just bring this down a touch just to smooth that out some. And yeah, that's feeling really nice. I think that's a lot of kind of like what I had in mind here. I mean, man, look at that. What a place for a vineyard. I can't really kind of get over this valley. This game is not really like known for its landscape, but boy, does that landscape look really great looking down this valley. Let's see if we can get another one in here. I'll probably fill in a bunch of other stuff, vineyards and stuff, between episodes, because it is a little tedious going, but let's see if we can't get one more in over here. So we'll just smooth this out and try to make this a little softer for some vineyard stuff, and then try to find like a flat space for where we can put our winery, our tasting house, and actually our little wine manufacturing area. I think we can kind of put it in something here. Should work. And yeah, just kind of flatten some of this out and smooth out a bunch of this. I don't mind the slope for the vineyard, but I don't want it to be too kind of mountainous bumpy. I think as long as it can be kind of steep, but as long as it's kind of smooth, I think that'll look a little better. And then let's see if we can find something else for the, is there a different building we can use? I think that's the one we used before. That one's different, right? That's the one we used, and that one's different. Okay, yeah. So just get this in maybe right about there. Yeah, that'll work. And then we'll look for another kind of estate home. I think the higher the level, kind of the fancier it'll be. And we want it to have a little bit of a plot to it. Oh, no, it's not too bad. That one's pretty nice. I think, let's see. We just stick that one there. I think that'll work for sure. And then we can just kind of get a little bit of a long winding driveway going on here. And I don't really want the key wall to show up, but we can kind of get rid of that here in a minute, and kind of down and back to the road about there. Yeah, I think that'll work. Kind of fancy little long driveway up. Let's get rid of, let me lower this a little bit. I think we're a little too flat on top. We can get a little more slope out of that, the top part of that horseshoe. And adjust this here. And then let's get rid of this key wall area and just turn this back into a, yeah, there we go. And oh, that got weird. Let's see if we can't smooth this out just a little bit. All right, that's, like I said, the more you mess with it, the weirder it ends up getting. So I'm probably just digging myself in deeper, but I think that works. It's okay that it's a little steep. And then let's just extend that along there. And get a road in here for this. I guess we should connect that. Kind of run that along. Oh, let's get some parking in, actually. I think that will make sense. Flip that around. And then from there, we can connect. Yeah, that'll be good, because we'll need some parking for folks coming to visit and get their wine on. And then, so yeah, we've got this whole hillside here. So I'm going to go through and lay some agriculture down. And then and get some vineyards in. Man, yeah, that we used a slightly different bush this time, just for fun. But again, man, the views in this valley are crazy. Even looking back the other way towards the other vineyard. But just, man, look at that. How good is that? Especially with there was a little more cloud cover, would look even better. But Yeah, this is looking great. I'm pretty stoked with this. Let's maybe look into some detailing here. Got to flatten out this ground again for the decals. It's the only. Really wish the decals. I get why they don't, but I wish they, worked a little better on even one level of height variation. But I do get it. Let's just kind of make sure these are all on the same level, and boom, there we go. And nice and smooth and flat in here. And then we'll just get kind of the business side of this. So I think this will work to just kind of throw these in the farm side of stuff. Just kind of let that bleed over, and then let's see, we get some grass in here. And yeah, just fill some of that in. Guess I should have kept going with that grass. I think we probably want it back here too. And over here. And just kind of bring this around for all the manicured grass that, they'd probably have in the front part for where the guests come. So yeah, that already looks pretty good. And then I think we can get some trees going, or just some bushes at least to kind of close off I feel like really throwing bushes in anywhere that you kind of want to separate textures or ground patterns or whatever really is nice. And also, for here, I think at least so that we kind of have a little barrier between the parking lot and the cliff. And then let's this is a fancy place. Maybe we use the hedgerows more than the bushes. I think the bushes can stay, but I think it'd be fun to kind of line the road with this stuff. I think that let's kind of get these in here. And yeah, that looks a little more manicured. I think we maybe need to lean on some more manicured look for a lot of this stuff if we're going to kind of keep it, feeling upscale. And we're so used to doing kind of that gritty urban stuff or kind of more rustic remote stuff. But this is a fancy place for fancy people, so we got to have fancy bushes. And let's see, maybe we just kind of keep running this all the way down. Actually, that could be kind of fun. Really, just kind of giving ourselves a little kind of trace the road with this. Of course, it then sinks right there because there's not enough land for it. We'll have to bring that up here in a second. But we'll just keep following the road with the hedge here and come all the way down to this intersection. But I think that looks really cool. I mean, if you're driving up that road, I think you're feeling pretty good about the wine day you're going to have. So here, let's flatten this out a little bit, just enough, hopefully, to give ourselves some ground for the hedges to sit on. Let's see if this works. That looks better. There we go. Yeah, and then let's just pull some of these into place here. That one's off a little bit. There we go. And so we just find a way to connect those. Yeah, that's definitely feels, manicured and landscape. So, and then I think we can just fill in a bit of trees here. Let's see if we just kind of want to just kind of fill in some areas around here a bit, just to make the grounds feel a little nicer. And then let's see, we want to go with some bushes here. Just kind of fill in along here. Yeah, I think that'll work. and just kind of line this with some nice landscape and stuff. But yeah, I think I'm just going to keep going through here with some trees, then we'll get some other details stuff around this area, and then maybe we go back and check in on our last vineyard and get some detail going in there. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good, and the views are still looking great. This really makes me want to do some sort of European map. I've never done a European build in this game, or City Skylines 1 for that matter, but this particular valley is kind of making me want to do some rural European stuff. But yeah, I think that looks great, and looking back on the old one you can see down there. So just looking at all this, I'm pretty happy with this stuff. So let's... we'll fill in some of these other spots over here, and I think it'll be cool to see some farms and some other stuff around, but I'm feeling really, really good about all this. And yeah, we'll get other stuff filled in, and we'll get a little detail on this, the first vineyard we built. But yeah, we'll leave it there for today. Thanks everybody for watching and subscribing as always, and I really appreciate your comments. So yeah, we'll get some detailing going. Thanks. See you next time. Bye.